This is Gikuyu FM podcast, and right now a story has come onto my attention, a story involving the former Cabinet Secretary of Defense, Aden Duale. Remember, the president a few days ago, after the demonstrations by the Gen Zs, went ahead to dismiss his cabinet secretaries. But a few days later, he went ahead to reconstitute them again and put them in various dockets in his cabinet. And one man that had won a lottery is Aden Duale as the Cabinet Secretary of Defense for being again put at the same docket where he served before in the cabinet as the Cabinet Secretary of Defense. Same thing to Soibani Tuya. But after a day or two, the president made up his mind to reconstitute, to reshuffle the two dockets, put Soipani Tuya in the CS of Defense docket and Aden Duale in the docket of environment. Now, this is where the whole story comes in. Aden Duale would have really wanted to remain as the Cabinet Secretary of Defense. You know, being the Cabinet Secretary of Defense, you are so close to the President of the Republic of Kenya because you are a very key minister when it comes to the matters involving the country, because you lead the docket that mans and make sure that the matters of the national security are addressed to the core. But Aden Duale did not maintain that docket. Reason being, the KDF generals were not happy, and the generals in the military were not happy with this man being their leader in the docket of defense. And that's why President William Ruto acted so fast to go ahead and reshuffle, put Soipani Tuya as the new Cabinet Secretary of Defense and put Aden Duale akapande miti huko. Now, here is where the whole story comes in. Why were the KDF not happy with Aden Duale? This all starts from the 25th of June 2024 when the young men and women called the Gen Z and their movement occupied parliament. Aden Duale made the call to the generals of the KDF to deploy KDF in Nairobi town to go ahead and restore peace and restore sanity in the city of Nairobi. This is after the young men stormed the parliament. But the military were not of the idea. The military are used to maintain peace within our borders. They are not used to fight their own brothers and sisters. They are used to fight terror. So they were against the ideology of Aden Duale that they should come into town, start fighting young men and women, small boys who are just carrying the Kenyan flag. And let me tell you, the police of the Republic of Kenya may not respect the Kenyan flag because they don't know what it takes to protect that flag. But when it comes to our military gives the utmost respect to our national flag, because the Kenyan flag is the symbol of national unity. Let me tell you the reason I'm saying this. You know, some of our brothers and sisters, some of the young men that were protesting and were shot and killed during the demonstrations of Occupy Parliament were only carrying the Kenyan flag as a symbol of unity and patriotism. They only wanted good governance for their country. That is what the young men wanted. But the police and the innuendos and these nicompoms that we have in the police service went ahead to fire bullet and kill the young men and women who were only raising a hand up high holding the Kenyan flag. And that angered even the military of the nation. And they were asking the question, why should you kill a patriotic Kenyan carrying their own flag? Why should you add more blood to the red color in our national flag, since our brothers and sisters, our forefathers fought for that flag to remain the way it is? We poured enough blood in the battlefield fighting the colonial masters. Why should we again pour our own blood? Because you nicompoms think because you have been given the authority to carry guns, not that you are better than the young men and women. I tell you, you are far much behind compared to those young men and women that were out there demonstrating, because it's just that they did not have a chance for them to be in the police force. It's just that their parents did not have money to bribe their way into making it to the police force. You get? That is what the military was against. And that's why they did not want the order that was given them by Defense Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale to go to Nairobi town and then use the military as a tool of intimidation towards the public. You know, Kenya is a very democratic country, and constitutionally, the people of the country are protected by Article 37 of the Constitution to continue with the demonstrations. But you, Aden Duale, because you serve your master, because you bow down to President William Ruto, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive you for what you did. Now, that is one of the many reasons. Now, the generals were even planning to file a motion to have a Defense Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale kicked out if he was again to become the leader of the docket of the Cabinet of Defense. They were planning on that. And after President William Ruto realized this, he acted so quickly and went ahead to do a reshuffle. Yeah, taking out taking out Aden Duale from defense and reconstituting him with Soipani Tuya. Yes, and that's what's up. And day in, day out, we love our brothers and sisters in the uniform, the men in the military, the Kenya Navy, the Kenya Army, the Kenya Air Force. Yes, the Kenya Defense Forces, the Reke Squad, our most light forces who use their brains instead of using their muscles to try and prove a point to these harmless brothers and sisters of theirs who are in the streets. All we can say is that we leave it on God. You know, we leave it on Allah to judge those who killed our brothers and sisters. Now, that's what's up. That is in regard to Aden Duale being removed out as the Cabinet Secretary of Defense. Yes, he was not cut out for that job, and the military said so. That's what's up. Remember, this is Gikoyo FM podcast, where we inform you on the matters arising in our republic. Please subscribe.